Oftentimes, being able to judge a person's level of empathy is the only possible way you can test them to make sure that they're a good fit for you. Let's get into this. My name is Kevin, and this is The Royal We. Now, before I get into this message on how you can easily judge the measure of somebody's empathy in this life, let me remind you that I'm here to support you. Down in the description box right below this video, you'll find access for one-on-one appointments with me. I do take telephone calls and video calls through Zoom, FaceTime, and WhatsApp. So if you're out in the dating world, or you're struggling with family members, or you're struggling in your marriage, you do not have to struggle alone. Head on down there, schedule some time with me. Let's strategize together to get you out of the toxicity. Also, The Royal We does have a private membership available for you where you can get daily live support from me with a growing community of people from all over the world. We have a workout program to follow along with. There's weekly fellowship. There's weekly Zoom calls. There's all sorts of great things for you on your healing journey. Last but not least, join me every day live, midday at noon Central Time for a Royal We workout live on YouTube. That's right, we are crushing it, getting those gains, getting back into shape, coming out of toxic relationships. I promise you, stick it out with me. It's free, it's every day on YouTube, and within 6 months, mentally, emotionally, physically, you will be in a much better place. All right, so be sure to subscribe to this channel and follow along for that. I'm here for you. I want you to be the best version of yourself. Now, let's get into this topic of how to test or how to measure a person's empathy. Now, when we think of a person's ability to be empathetic or to empathize, we typically think of a person's ability to sit with you when you're upset or to understand things that have caused you pain. This is what we think of when we think of empathy. Now, we all know that narcissistic people have no empathy. This is why they're able to hurt you over and over and over again. They can call you names. They can start fights with you. They can criticize you. They can see you hurting. They can see you in pain. They can see you crying, and yet they show no remorse because they have no empathy. And this is how we typically judge a person's lack of empathy. The problem is that you can't really discover this early on in a relationship. And the reason is because narcissistic people understand that there is a need for people to experience empathy when they're hurting, right? That's when empathy is needed the most. When you're hurting, when you're upset about something, that's when you need empathy the most. Narcissistic people understand this, so early on in a relationship, they can absolutely fool you. They can turn on their trickster salesperson mindset of, oh, I'm going to pretend to listen. I'm going to pretend to care. As a matter of fact, they like it when you are talking about something that bothers you because it gives them the ability to become in this position of power over you. Like they're your counselor and they're your hero and they're your savior. So that is not a good way to test someone's level of empathy. And oftentimes this fools you. Especially early on in a relationship, you can be fooled by this because you can go into a relationship and you can start talking about your past experiences, your exes, whoever hurt you in the past, whatever the case may be, how you're not looking for somebody who is going to make you cry, whatever the case may be. And a narcissistic person is going to be like, I'm your savior, girlfriend. I'm your savior, dude. I'm here. I will take care of you. And without even realizing it, you're putting them in a position of power over you. So this is not how you test a person's empathy. You do not test a person's empathy by going into this lowly place of sharing your vulnerabilities. All right? That's that's a recipe for disaster, especially when narcissistic people are able to fake and turn on this fake empathy, this learned form of empathy. And narcissistic people can learn a form of empathy long enough to fool you. But here's what I've discovered. Are you ready? This is going to shock you, but not really. You're going to already kind of know this, but it is by far the best way to test a person's level of empathy, to see whether or not they are a narcissist or if they're a healthy individual. Are you ready? So first of all, let's understand this. Empathy is an entire spectrum. Empathy is not something that is shared between people who are hurting. Empathy is not something that's shared only in vulnerability through pain and through suffering. I mean, that's one form of sharing empathy with another person, But empathy in general is the ability to understand, to accept, to be curious about, and to share in any emotion of another person. That's what empathy is. So now that we understand this, it doesn't have to be pain and vulnerability and hurting. Empathy can also play a part of sharing in somebody's joy. Empathy can be a part of sharing in somebody's excitement. Empathy can be shared in sharing somebody's passion. All of these things require empathy. Now, how many of you know where I'm going with this? Empathy, we should not look at empathy as just needed in times of pain and suffering. We need to look at empathy as also needed in a relationship through times of sharing passion, through times of sharing joy, through times of sharing excitement. We don't realize that that's what empathy is, but it is. When you are sharing something you're passionate about, like right now, I'm passionate about this subject. And here's what's going to happen. Some of you who have empathy, the majority of you watching this channel who have empathy are going to be excited with me about this message because you see how passionate I am. But watch this. There's going to be narcissistic people who are also watching this video right now. And they're not going to be able to connect with my excitement. They're not going to understand how passionate I am. And since they're not going to understand it because they don't have any empathy, that's right, some of you watching, you're not going to have any empathy. You're not going to be able to feel the passion that I have, the excitement that I have. And so instead of being curious, you're just going to be kind of angry about it. It might even deter you. You might even want to turn this channel off and go away. Now, I'm not diagnosing anybody here as a narcissistic person, but I am here to tell you this, that if you want to know how to test a person's level of empathy, don't just rely on talking about vulnerable things that a narcissistic person can exploit to play your savior. Instead, are you ready? Are you ready? Here's the key. Here's the key to test and to measure and to judge a person's level of empathy. The key is to actually express something in life right in front of them that excites you. Talk about what it is that excites you. Talk about what you're passionate about. Talk about what brings you joy, especially things that they know nothing about. And I promise you, if you're dealing with a narcissistic person, you'll watch them squirm. Here's what you're going to discover. As you're sharing your excitements in life, one of two things is going to happen. Either you're going to be dealing with an empathic person like you, and they're going to be on the edge of their seats. They're going to be like, no way, tell me more. Like, what was it like? What did you do? What was the experience? I want to know more. They're not going to be faking you. They're not going to be trying to one-up you. They're going to be like, tell me more. Why? Because they want to feel more of your excitement. That's what empathy does. You're going to know you're dealing with an empathic person because they're going to want more of you. They're going to want to tell me more about it. Tell me more about it. That's so cool. I've never done that. I've never experienced that. That sounds so cool. They're going to be happy for you. That's an empathic person. All right. Now, a narcissistic person who's not able to have empathy, because again, narcissists don't have empathy. This is what makes them narcissistic. They have no empathy. But you don't have to wait until you're hurting and they're not there for you to finally realize that they have no empathy. You could do it early on simply by sharing your joy, share your passion, share your excitement, share something you did and laugh out loud and make it and watch them squirm. If they're squirming, or if they're like, I don't like that. Or if they're changing the subject off of your joyful experience onto something else they want to talk about, boom, boom, mic drop right here and now, friends. That right there is because they have no empathy. They are not able to share in your experience. As a matter of fact, your joy, your overwhelming passion has like shaken them, scared them, terrified them. They have to change the subject. They can't listen to it. Why? Because they have no empathy. They have no way of feeling what you're feeling in that moment. And to a narcissistic person, the difference between an empathic person and a narcissistic person is that an empathic person will feel your excitement and want to know more. A narcissistic person, since they cannot feel what you feel, it confuses them, it irritates them, it hurts them, it scares them. They have no idea how to relate. So they're instantly going to change the subject. Get it off of you, get it off of your joy, get it off of your experience. They're going to change it to something else. Boom. That right there is when you need to say, okay, this person has no empathy. Not only were they not able to sit and ask questions about what makes me joyful about this experience, they showed no interest. As a matter of fact, they showed signs that it irritated them. They couldn't even tolerate that it was something that I was happy about. When you share things of pure joy in your life, things that you're passionate about, things of your interest, you're interested in, a narcissistic person will immediately show you their discomfort. That is how you judge a person. That's when, at that moment, you've got to stand back and say, okay, I get it. You cannot feel feelings with me. You cannot share experiences with me. It doesn't matter that they've never had that experience. Some people watching this might say, well, Kevin, maybe it's because they'd never experienced that. Yeah, but an empathic person is going to want to know more. An empathic person is still going to feel the excitement. And an empathic person is going to want to ask more questions. Only a narcissistic person is going to want to shut that conversation down or change the subject. And this, my friends, will be the rest of your life with that person, whether it's a family member or somebody you're dating. The rest of your life will be spent with you trying to share things that you're joyful about, things you're passionate about, and them changing the conversation, them derailing it, them over-talking you, them ripping away, them criticizing you, everything. That's what narcissists do because of their lack of empathy. They're not able to share in your experience, whether bad or good. So instead of trying to just test for the empathy we need when things are bad, we need to learn how to test for the empathy when things are good. Now I'm going to share some examples of what this looked like in my life, and this is why I know it's true. When I was dealing with the narcissistic in-laws, I remember when my children were too small for school. They were born, and I remember they were like a year, 2 years, and I was talking about school, and I was excited when I was talking about homeschooling, which, by the way, I'm a homeschooler, right? And I remember I was like, oh, I can't wait to homeschool, and it was something I was genuinely happy about. But when I was around those narcissistic in-laws, their faces were like, you could, like, they looked like someone punched them right in the gut. And then suddenly I got this weird story from one of them. Oh, well, yeah, I had a friend that homeschooled, and she ended up being the biggest druggie that I know. Just trying to like poo-poo on it. I'm like, what? Well, first of all, I'm not your friends. I'm not your friend's parents. I'm me. I'm Kevin McKee. I'm different. I didn't say that, but I'm thinking, why is this person irritated that I'm sharing something that I'm excited about? Because there's no empathy there. This person I was talking to had zero empathy towards me, was so unempathetic that she could not even be happy for something that I was excited about. Now I'm going to share with you another story, again, dealing with the in-laws. The in-laws for me are nothing but a harvest of examples of what narcissism looks like. I mean, I'm not trying to be mean, it's just, it is. But there was another time where they came out to visit me and the mother of my kids. We were downtown doing some music, and I had a conversation with somebody downtown that I met, a stranger, and we were talking about God and faith, and I was just sharing my faith in that moment. Back then, I wasn't a Bible basher or anything, but I loved sharing my faith and my experiences with people, and this person was really interested in, and there was the in-law, one of the half-brothers of the mother of my kids, standing there. And he contributed a little bit, stood there for a little while, and listening, and as I was sharing my passionate background and my story, he's like, I can't hear any more of this, and just left. And it wasn't like I wasn't sharing anything bad. I was passionate about something. They can't handle it. They just can't. There was another time, I'll share one more experience with the narcissistic in-laws. We were playing a game of poker at their house, and I was laughing because something really made me laugh. And I wasn't laughing at anybody. It wasn't somebody being put down. That's what narcissists think are funny. I happened to be laughing at a joke that was said, and it was really funny. It made me laugh, and I love to laugh, right? When I laugh, by the way, it's a genuine laugh. As a matter of fact, I hardly cry when I'm upset. I mean, I could be punched, stabbed, kicked. I could be dying, and I'm not going to cry. But I'll tell you what, if I'm laughing hard enough, I'm crying. Like, I cry when I laugh. That's when God designed me so my tears come out when I'm happy, not when I'm sad, right? It's crazy, I know. Maybe some of you can relate. But anyways, it was one of these moments where I was laughing so hard that I was actually crying. And I looked up, and these narcissistic in-laws, these half-sisters of the mother of my kids, and they're looking at me and they have these faces of shock. Again, it's that, the only way I could describe it is they looked like they were being attacked, and they just turned around and walked away. They were attacked because of my joy, and they could not, because they have no empathy, they could not even stand and be in the presence of true, authentic, passionate joy. This, my friends, my beloved Royal We community, this is the easiest way you're going to be able to test whether or not somebody is a narcissist or if they're empathetic enough to be in your life. It's not through sharing your vulnerabilities. A narcissist can fool you. They can trick you when it comes to your vulnerabilities. If you really want to test their level of empathy, share your joy. Share what you're passionate about, what you're excited about. Laugh at things that make you laugh. Share your excitement, especially things that have nothing to do with them, and judge them based on their response. If they're squirming in their seat, if they have to leave the room, if they have to change the subject on you, you know that they don't have empathy. They're not able to empathize with you. All right, this is the absolute truth. This should come before you being vulnerable with them. This is why I'm making this message. Before you're ever vulnerable with a narcissistic person, sharing your hurts and things like that, I challenge you, each and every one of you right now, learn to first share what you're passionate about and what you're excited about, and judge narcissists based on that. Judge the person you're talking to based on that, and make it a long test. Go a very long time being very passionate and joyful about what you like in this life, and watch for their response. Are they curious about you? Even if they don't know what it is you're talking about, are they sharing in your joy in it? Are they encouraging you in it? Are they laughing along with you? Are they wanting to know more out of genuineness? Or are they trying to change the subject? Are they trying to bring the topic back onto them? Are they acting like they can't tolerate or can't stand being around your level of joy? This is how you judge, and this is how you know you're dealing with a narcissistic person who lacks empathy. Listen, if you have any questions about this, head on down to the description box right down below. Leave me a comment down in the comment section. Also, if you're brand new to the Royal We channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button. I am here every single day, Monday through Friday, live to work out with you. Also, in the evenings to have a discussion just like this. If you do need one-on-one support, head on down to the description box, schedule some one-on-one time with me. If you can't find the description box, by the way, it's where it says more under this video, and there's some dots. Expand it. There's where you're going to find the information to contact me. And I will be back right here on the Royal We. Bye, everyone.